morning and welcome to a very special interview show of The Prode. Today, it's my pleasure to have His Excellency Ambassador Akhilesh Mishra sir on our show. Ambassador Mishra is currently the Indian ambassador to Ireland, and he is here with us to discuss the India-Ireland relations and the way forward. Thank you so much, sir, for taking out the time, and a very warm welcome to The Prode.
Thank you. Thank you. It's a great privilege to join a young, dynamic entrepreneur like you.
Thank you so much, sir. So, India was the first country in Asia with which Ireland established formal diplomatic links in 1947. So how has been the diplomatic relations of both the countries to date?
Yeah, thank you so much. First of all, my very warm greetings to all the listeners and your friends, your colleagues who are connected with this program from beautiful Dublin, Ireland. I would say that the relationship between India and Ireland goes beyond diplomacy and diplomatics. And they have a very long-standing ties of affinity and respect and love and goodwill for each other. Since the 19th century, the Irish educationists, medical and engineering experts, they played a very sincere role in development of India. And also there was a very deep affinity and connection between the national movements of independence in Ireland and India, both on the revolutionaries side and also on the people who were seeking peaceful ways of gaining independence. And also in art and culture, Ireland has had a tremendous impact on India. Tagore and Yeats were very close personal friends, and Yeats is a very popularly known figure in India. And also Ireland is a powerhouse in literature and poetry, with 4 Nobel laureates in literature. So Ireland has been ahead of India by about a quarter century in gaining independence, and also ahead of us in having a written constitution. And Irish constitution was one of the key documents which was very closely consulted by our constituent assembly members. And we were very grateful that the top leaders of Ireland were very generous to share their first-hand practical experience of dealing with a Republican constitution. And Irish constitution has had very significant impact on our constitution itself. And as you rightly said, India opened its embassy in Dublin in 1951. And Irish embassy was also opened in 1964. It was before Ireland opened its embassy in Moscow, Tokyo, and Beijing. To the kind of affinity and importance we attach to each other speaks for itself. And we have had regular consultations between Ireland and India. We have had 3 presidential visits from Ireland to India, and also 2 presidential visits from India to Ireland. Our Prime Minister Modi visited Dublin in 2015. It was one of the first visits to be undertaken by Prime Minister Modi since he became Prime Minister in 2014. And also Prime Minister Nehru visited Ireland twice. Similarly, we had from Ireland side 2 prime ministerial visits. Currently, we are very happy that we have a privilege of working together very closely on the UN Security Council. We are both non-permanent members for the period 2021-22. This year also, we will be working very closely. And also, I must say, Ireland was one of the first countries to come out with its generous assistance when we were grappling with second wave of Corona. And Ireland gave us a significant number of oxygen concentrators and ventilators and oxygen generators. And the Department of Foreign Affairs also helped the Hope Foundation in India. Similarly, on issues of critical importance to both, we have a lot of commonality of interest and also approach. On the issue of terrorism, which is a matter of grave concern to us, Ireland has been extremely supportive, and we are working together. Uh, Ireland officially condemned, issuing a statement, the Pulwama cross-border terrorist attack in India. And there's a lot of convergence in our approach on global issues.
Yes, that's great. So what are some of the major sectors in which India and Ireland have bilateral partnerships, and how successful these partnerships have been in terms of the economic development of both the countries?
Yeah, if you look at the key sectors of Ireland's economy, one point I wish to flag is that there's not enough awareness in India about how remarkably Ireland has transformed itself from an agrarian farming-based economy to a major high-tech economy, high-tech manufacturing economy. Ireland has one of the most vibrant startup clusters. Last year itself, about 25,000 new startups were registered. And also Ireland has one of the world's most successful clusters of startup ecosystem with a 17% success rate. While the success rate in startup segment in Europe is about 6 to 7%, and only about 1 to 2% in India. Similarly, I look at the IT industry, or as you know, 9 out of 10 world's top IT companies have made Ireland its European or global headquarters. Similarly, 9 out of top 10 pharmaceutical companies have also made Ireland its European or global hub. Similarly, 23 out of 25 medical devices and medtech companies, they are based here. They have made Ireland as their European hub, at least, if not the global hub. Similarly, in the field of cutting-edge new technologies like artificial intelligence and fintech and cybersecurity or Internet of Things, so Ireland is a very, very vibrant ecosystem. Similarly, the higher education, professional education segment of Ireland, this is really very fascinating. And they are doing cutting edge work in terms of research and development, and also nurturing innovation and entrepreneurship. So what we are looking at is that these are also areas of interest to India. Like India is a global power in IT, in pharmaceutical, in vaccine, in medical devices, in professional services, and also higher education. There is a lot of commonality of our strengths. Like in terms of sectoral focus area of both countries, and our own unique niche strengths are very similar. But what really fascinates me is that we are occupying different niche areas in each segment. Like IT industry of Ireland is a different niche area. Indian IT industry and its connectivity is a bit different. Similarly, in pharma and medtech and higher education, so we are in different positions. That gives me tremendous optimism that if we work together, then we can dovetail our energies and become each other's force multipliers. And we are looking at a very dynamic, very vibrant, broad-based engagement between India and Ireland. And the first challenge is to create more visibility for Ireland in India and create more information about opportunities in India among Irish experts and thinkers and academicians and public at large.
Yeah. So you mentioned about, yeah.
Yes. Yeah. And also you mentioned about like trading relationship is again growing. We have about 1.1, 1.2 billion euros bilateral trade. Also, the diaspora connect is a very significant angle for us. We have about 50,000 people of Indian origin, some of them are now Irish nationals, some of them are non-resident Indians. In Ireland, they are working in multiple segments, playing a very important role in the MNCs which are present in Ireland. We have about 1,700 multinational companies in Ireland, and all of them have significant participation of Indian origin professionals. Similarly, we have about 5,000 of Indian students studying in Ireland.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
So you mentioned about the trade relations. So how the trade relations have flourished over the years, and what are some of the major products that India export to Ireland and vice versa?
Yes, frankly speaking, I feel given the complementarity and the size of both economies, the current engagement is very low, and there is a tremendous potential to boost. For our listeners in India, I can mention that Ireland exports about $170 billion of goods and imports about $100 billion of goods. Ireland is a country of just 5 million people. And also in software segment, Ireland exports about $250 billion worth of services. Similarly, imports about $330 billion of services. Ireland is a $500 billion economy and a very deep export and import relationship. Compared to that, and India, is the third largest economy in purchasing power parity, fastest growing major economy in the world. And our exports are touching about $400 billion this year, and imports are over $500 billion. So India and Ireland have a very large export-import volume. But if I look at how much we are trading between Ireland and India, is very low. And the main items that traditionally have been exchanged are India imports from Ireland machinery and mechanical appliances, telecom equipment, precision equipment, and computer parts. Our exports to Ireland are inputs to the Ireland's pharma industry, organic chemicals and textiles, medical devices, machinery parts, engineering goods, plastic and rubber products. The composition has not really changed, and we need to look at a broader assessment of where the potential lies.
Yes, sir. So coming to the sustainable development, so how has been the Indo-Irish partnerships in terms of green energy and sustainability, and what is the way forward for both the countries in terms of the sustainable development?
Yeah, thank you so much. Ireland is a very, like ambitious country in terms of green energy, and I just had a consultation with the Secretary General Department of Energy here. And I think there are opportunities at multiple levels. India, as you know, has a very robust focus on renewable energy, solar energy, and wind energy. Our target is to have about 500 gigawatt of renewable energy by 2030. Similarly, Ireland has very ambitious targets. We are looking at linkage between Ireland and India in the renewable energy at 3 levels. One is at the wind energy. Ireland is taking very significant initiative to develop offshore wind energy. This would be an area of interest, and also green hydrogen is another interesting area where Ireland is taking significant steps, and this is area of high priority for India. Solar energy is already booming in India, and we are one of the providers of cheapest solar energy in the world. It is competitive when compared to hydro and other thermal power that is produced. I'm looking at like new technologies in solar, in wind energy, particularly offshore wind energy and green technologies. So in terms of the commercial relationship, we are exploring opportunities. Also, Ireland is doing some interesting cutting edge work on R&D in these segments.
Yeah.
Like green hydrogen, in more efficient solar technologies, more efficient wind energy technologies. In the university segment also, there's a significant opportunity for us to have active collaboration.
Yeah. So you mentioned about technology. So how the bilateral partnership of India and Ireland be in the field of science and technology, and what's the way forward for both the countries?
Yeah, science and technology is an area in which we both have our unique strengths. India, as you know, has about 38 million university growing students and producing about 3 million university student engineering students, and also very significant number of doctors and other professionals in management and accounting and auditing. And India's demography is such that we have about 2/3 of population under 35 years, and by 2030, it is expected that India will account for 1/4 of global skilled manpower pool. So India is going to emerge as a major provider of human capital, human professionals to Europe and also North America.
Yeah.
And that provides a lot of opportunity for Ireland to engage India and pre-position in terms of developing skills which are cutting edge and which will serve not only Ireland's needs of technical manpower, but also it can be an India-Ireland partnership in creating world standard professionals in different areas of science and technology and professional skills. So what I'm looking at, we had a academic conversation with UCD, University College of Dublin, and our Department of Science and Technology. So what we are looking at is identifying some readily available technologies in Ireland, which can be introduced in India, because Ireland has a very robust startup cluster. And many of the technologies could be very relevant to India in terms of our Make in India, in terms of our entrepreneurship development, and also because India is so diverse in terms of socioeconomic development spectrum, and also regional disparities. So we have potential to absorb different kinds of technologies, and no one single solution will serve whole of India. So yeah. I think India has a tremendous business opportunity for Irish startup clusters in providing relevant kind of technologies in different segments. Yeah. Also, I'm looking at successful models of science and technology partnership. So if I look at India's bilateral engagement in science and technology segment, we have about 90 countries with which we have science and technology cooperation agreements. Some of them are working well, some of them are not working well. If I have to pick up the model which really transformed India, I think two models are very fascinating. One was India's diplomacy in engaging Western powers to set up IITs in India. As you know, IITs were set up with individual country partnerships.
Right. Yeah.
Like IIT Chennai was set up with the German assistance, IIT Delhi was set up with the British assistance, IIT Kanpur with the US assistance. And those relationships have transformed India, and those ties are continuing. Similarly, the Green Revolution, it had a mega impact on Indian economy, and it was thanks to India-US partnership in agriculture sciences. So I'm looking at India-Ireland partnership using naturally at a modest level and starting incrementally. But we have to have a clearer focus on institution to institution partnership, which helps build the ecosystem in India and also creates opportunities in Ireland. It should not be focused on benefiting individuals. Like so far, the approach has been that some scholar is offered a grant to do some particular work without a larger conception of what it will be its impact. So this calls for a change of approach. I feel that we need an engineering approach for building science and technology partnerships, where we, like engineers, we don't shun away from acknowledging our constraints. We upfront take note of what our limitations of money and manpower, resources, constraints of property, of materials, and then accordingly we optimize and give full thought to the feasibility of our plan.
Yeah.
I'm initiating consultations with Irish friends, and also then we will go back to Indian counterparts to work out robust, functioning, practical, mutually beneficial partnerships, which are based on synergy, based on mutuality of interests.
So when I posted on my social media handles that I'm going to interview Indian ambassador to Ireland, so this question came to me from every second person, and this question is: Ireland is one of the favorite destinations for Indian students in terms of higher education. So how can both the countries work together in order to make higher education more accessible and cost-friendly for the Indian students who aspire to study in Ireland?
Yes, thank you so much. Education, as I mentioned, is a very significant area of India-Ireland linkage. We have about 5,000 Indian students studying in Irish universities spread over all over Ireland. In education sector, we had historical ties with Ireland. Irish education has imprint in India. And Annie Besant, she founded Central Hindu College in Varanasi, and that became the first constituent college of Banaras University, where I studied. There are existing linkages between Ireland and India, like Trinity College, the most oldest and most prominent college here, has joint degree program with Thapar institution. University of Limerick also has partnerships. UCD has linkages with India. What again I'm looking at is like having a new look at new fresh perspective on how do we build a relationship for the coming century, like coming decades at least. And it cannot be the business as usual projection of how we have been engaging past 70 years. I think there are multiple opportunities because Ireland is a very, very fascinating hub for different kind of experience. In terms of quality of education, it is at par with the British and American and Canadian, Australian education system. It's a world-class infrastructure. People here are extremely friendly and very welcoming, particularly for India. There is a tremendous affinity at the grassroots level. And also the cost of living is lower than what it is in US, Canada, and UK. But the problem is that there's not enough awareness in India about the cutting edge education that is being offered by Irish universities. People are familiar about UK, about US and Canada and Australia, but not so much awareness about Ireland. So we need to spread the information about Irish education system in a broader catchment area of students in India. There are university representatives from Ireland based in India, but they are mainly focusing metropolitan cities. There are enough talented students also who are in a position to afford foreign education in areas outside metropolitan cities. So we need a more promotional strategy for Ireland, and also in Ireland, I'm seeing that there is a kind of herd mentality from India. Students are opting for one particular course without thinking.
Yeah.
So I'm in the process of identifying what are the new and emerging areas which our students should opt for, taking into account the job market of the coming years in India. India, is transforming very, very drastically, both on the front of digitization of our economy and also a robust focus on manufacturing of Indian economy. The jobs which are needed in India in the years to come will not be the same skill sets which were relevant 20 years ago or 30 years ago. Similarly, Ireland is a country, small country, 2.3 million workforce, and it's a very fast growing economy. So it needs external professional manpower. So if we do the matching and planning carefully and guide Indian students to areas which will help them gain opportunities in Ireland and contribute to Irish economy, but also feed the Indian economy in specialized emerging areas of skills. Secondly, I'm looking at education. We have to go beyond student recruitment and that kind of linkage. We have to have deeper institution to institution linkage. So I have initiated consultations with presidents of universities and other institutions, other relevant parties in Ireland, so that we have a deeper engagement among institutions of Ireland and institutions of India. We have to explore multiple enduring, durable partnerships. They could be in offer of joint degree programs. It could be online and offshore programs in India. It could be a partnership for enhancing quality and standards and teaching and research in Indian universities. It could be a connectivity between startup ecosystems of India and Ireland, which are embedded in different universities in India and Irish institutions. It needs, and also there is a tremendous opportunity for investment in education from both sides. It could be investment in edutech solutions from Indian investors, because Ireland has a very significant startup cluster. So Indian investors should look at edutech solutions as a significant area of investment from India to Ireland. Similarly, from Ireland to India, this is a niche area. Similarly, in building physical infrastructure of universities, there's opportunity for Irish people to get involved. We have about 1,000 universities with 30% university enrollment. Our target is to have 50% university enrollment by 2030. So that means a lot more universities to come, and there's opportunity for foreign investment in physical infrastructure of universities as well. Similarly, there's opportunity for Irish people to seriously invest in startups in India. Also, the research and allied institutions of India and Ireland. We have to have some mechanism for sharing of experience and sharing of expertise. That itself will be catalyst in forging new ties.
Yes, sir. So I'm confident that the Indian students will learn more about Ireland, and they will explore this country as an education hub, as an option, good option for education. And on this note, I would like to end this interview, and thank you so much, His Excellency Ambassador Akhilesh Mishra, for joining us and for teaching us about the India-Ireland partnerships and India-Ireland relations. Thank you so much, sir, for joining.
Thank you so much. And once again, I applaud your own entrepreneurial spirit and your vision. At such a young age, you are doing outstanding work. And also, as I said, I'm looking for practical ideas.
Yeah.
From India and also from Irish friends. So please convey my greetings to everyone, and convey my invitation to all of them that Ambassador is very keen to welcome fresh ideas, and he will be always delighted to help anyone.
Yes, sir.
In
Sure, sir.
building
Thank
the
you so much.
connection.
Yes, sir.
Thank you so much. Thanks
and
a lot.
I'll try my best to convey this message among the media industry as well, to
Yes,
explore
yes,
Ireland
yes.
as an option.